Alright. You should be good. My stream should be live. Well, once it decides to actually go live on Twitch, it'll be live. Okay. And eventually I'll be fixing my commands and everything like that. Just gotta get the time to do it. Do it. Just do it. Okay. Are you live, Mr. Twitch? You always take such a minute. Seems like it's live. Maybe. Yeah, well, you know, that's best someone will get.
Oh, there it goes.
Nope, totally not live. Yep, alright. Cool. Alright. If you guys would like to say hi. Hello.
Good evening.
Signs point to no.
Hello.
Why, hello there. Hi, Rowena.
Hello.
Hello. Rowena, you there?
I love how much is. I love how. Or, gosh darn, I can't name English.
Uh-huh.
I see that there's a lot of drawing all over the battle map.
Yeah, they had fun with it.
I can tell.
Rowena, you there?
Yeah, I've said
cool.
yeah a couple times.
Sorry,
now.
we couldn't hear you for a little bit, I think. At least I couldn't. Alright, cool. So you guys seem to be good. All the audio's going well. Cool. Alright, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Oops. I need to put my war ball somewhere else because I hit every time. But welcome. As to my intro, well, hello and welcome, dear patrons, to the Tables of Tartarus, a chapter of Purgatory Corner. I'm your storyteller, Sinspeaks, and today we shall be discovering the tale of shifting fates. Come on in, take a seat, and let your imagination run free. Now, last episode, if I remember correctly, y'all fought an entire orc camp, murdered viciously a orc cook who was just minding his own business by shooting him in the face twice. Good job, Rowena.
Exactly one of us is responsible for that.
It's me.
Y'all murdered our orc archer who had decided to steal and then gradually get better at playing a pan flute over the course. I think y'all had like 13 rounds, if I remember correctly, last game, so however the fuck long that is. Apparently that's all the time that you guys need.
I just remember walking her away in sheer pain.
You did almost die. Yeah.
But hey, I did manage to incinerate one of them.
That is true.
So
you
that's
did
something.
Really good on that.
I mean, it cost me all of my spell slots, but
hey, as long as you're surviving, that's probably the important part.
I mean, I suppose, but the problem with Taskmasters is that they don't get many slots.
That is true. And yeah, Ellie, you I would say would be the MVP in that round, just because 8 people on top of you is a little much.
I just like, oh, did you just attack there? No, I wasn't there. Or what are you doing?
No, this wasn't me. She's over there. Go fight to the death for her right there. It's fine. You'll survive. Alright.
Yeah, that was definitely entertaining. They all decided to come for me instead.
It was entertaining for everyone but Ellie.
I mean, I tried to distract them, and they all just went everywhere else.
You tried to distract them, and you did a really good job. Namely, because they viewed you as the distraction.
I mean, I managed to drag her away no less than 3, so...
Yeah. Unfortunately, one of them decided that you were a very good person to beat the living hell out of. So, I mean, you did a very good job.
On that one.
Alright,
I still probably can't even pronounce it properly.
Well, we not. Let's see. So we're gonna have that there. Fantastic. Alright, so, by the way, this is something I probably didn't explain, because I hadn't actually thought of it until, today, actually. The world around you, even after you guys sleep or before you guys sleep, pretty much just doesn't change. If you guys have ever seen anything about Antarctica, and the fact that about 6 months of the year it's dark, and then 6 months of the year roughly it's bright. This world inside of Antarctica, people don't actually keep track of time pretty much ever, because
I mean, they kind
effectively
of
it's
do. They
useless.
just use a screen to. I've just been told they just use a screen and cover up all the windows when nightfall comes. Because
Yeah.
since they're so close to Antarctica, or no, I guess I really don't know the maps very well. The Antarctica's South Pole. Well, they're closer to the
Yeah.
northern
Well,
hemisphere.
whenever you're at one of the
So
poles.
yeah. So since they're so far north, the sun's positioning is a lot different for ours. So I hear it's somewhat similar to the way that time seems as if it flows in the far north, which would be 6 months of the year it is sunny skies, and 6 months of the year is basically perpetual night.
Yep. And because there's no proper day-night cycle, when you're actually on like a boat or something in there, you effectively lose track of time. They also have like effectively are in the middle of like 20 something different time zones, and so their way of keeping communication with other areas is also really messed up. It's a really fascinating read if you guys like look up that stuff. Really fascinating. But effectively, for the people on the boats and whatnot, they actually lose a sense of time. They lose their ability to really process what time is what, and so time becomes more of a concept than it does an actual thing like it is for us, where effectively for me, I have to keep track of time. So it's a really neat thing. This Ryotao is exceptionally similar in that none of you guys would have actually experienced it except for Oliver. But primarily, your sense of time, sleeping and waking up, is mostly regulated by your own body. So whenever your body decides to get up is effectively when you get up, and then obviously you do the praying to the sun thing every now and again.
Yep.
But for the rest of you guys who are used to day-night cycles in some way fashion, this will start to be really weird to you. It will have no mechanical effects, but it will have a weird roleplay effect if you guys stay in this area for long enough periods of time. Just so you guys are aware. But yeah, there is a small river to the right as well. Is unlike on the picture, it's actually almost dried up, but is a small river just outside the actual camp here as well. If I remember correctly, Oliver and Ellie were planning on going to sleep. And then I think, Rowena, you were checking up on Leon as he was desperately trying to clean the horrible mess that was made out of his pan flute.
Actually, in addition to that, there was technically something that we discussed after we stopped recording, so we should probably touch on that when the time comes, but I'll let them do their thing first.
If I remember what that is, we'll touch upon it.
I already know what it was, actually. I had walked out and offered to upgrade someone's gear,
right, yeah,
and
the pan.
Ellie walked
the
up with her
pan.
frying pan.
Yeah, right, yeah. So we'll get to that point after the children talk. I don't know why I said that. Anyways.
Patronize us.
You're welcome. So yeah, Rowena, you walk up to Leon. He is desperately trying to clean his poor unfortunate pan flute.
Okay.
You see him break out some soap from his pouch. I have soap in my inventory.
He does. Okay.
So, human, the man thing. Why is that so special to you?
Is that how you greet all humans?
Hey, you called me elvish lady.
Yeah, fair enough.
Why is it so special?
It's one of a kind. See, most pan flutes, they give you a clean sound, but this one's got reeds in it. It's more
So,
melancholy.
okay. Was it really worth dying for? Like, could you not just have it made again?
I don't really know how to make one. I don't know who I'd go to. As far as I know, this is the only one in existence, or at the very least, only one on the continent. Listen, I'm wrong. It's always possible there's another I've never heard of.
So you would die for an instrument?
I wasn't planning on dying today.
Okay, fair enough. Is it-
Storm.
Is it getting clean at all?
Yeah, is it getting clean, DM?
Well, I don't know what the hell role to use for that, so we'll go with performance. How well can you perform cleaning?
I mean, if he knows prestidigitation, he could just use that to do
Oh
it.
yeah, that too.
I hate prestidigitation so much, I think it is a terrible spell.
Okay, you can't use that. You have the hands of a cleaning person.
That is real kind of you to say, DM.
You're cleaning it
Yeah,
very
it's-
well. The soap is very efficient at cleaning out orc spit you found.
Yeah, I'd say it's getting clean.
Okay. I was just wondering if I could do anything to help. I guess I'll just leave you to it.
Uh-huh.
Alright, cool.
She'll just walk over back to the camp.
As you turn to leave, you can barely hear it, as though he's kind of like, as though it's hard for the words to come out. You hear him say, "Thanks."
Oh,
You're
he's trying. That's so deep.
Gosh darn, I forgot it does that.
Oh, that was funny. That was hilarious. It's like, you're welcome. Zoom. Oof. Oh, I love that. All right, so yeah, you walk back into town. Before you two sleep, then I assume you and Ellie are talking about reinforcing her wonderful frying pan, which shockingly is not worse for wear.
That was quite the battle back there. You fought an awful lot of them head on, it looked like. Are you sure it's a good idea to do that with everything in its current state?
Oh, I'm sure it'll be fine. It's definitely been through a number, but
I mean, I got a little bit of extra polish from when I was working with or when I was traveling with a merchant group. It was a little something I traded for a couple potions on the way. I bet I could probably use it to work on or fix up the frying pan if that would help.
that
Or
would be great if you could do that. I'm sure old friend won't mind the fry pan being worked on.
All right then, I can have this back to you by the morning then.
Please do take good care of it, though. You're the first person to ever touch it. So, but thank you a lot.
Hey, no worries. I honestly owe you a lot for back there as well. And last night, I didn't. Yeah, I owe you for a lot. I think this is hope this is somewhat payback in a sense.
Yeah, definitely. Perfectly fine.
All right then. I'll just make sure to get this back to you in the morning. In the meantime, sleep well.
You too. Good night.
And I'm going to go over to one of the vacant tents.
Cool. You see, I'm assuming Leon, who just walked in, and Rowena, who are there as well.
I'm gonna pop in.
Are you guys going to bed?
Ouch.
I mean,
Turn you down for a second.
Oliver is at the very least.
What are you
I was
saying?
gonna pop in. I was gonna pop in Oliver's tent before he goes to bed.
Oh, okay. Feel free.
I think Rowena is gonna try and find some more arrows.
You okay?
Like from the orcs, because she already recovered as much as her own.
I mean, you could probably find a few in the archer's quiver.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
archer up here is the only one who had any form of ranged weapons from what you could tell from the battle.
Okay.
Cuckoo.
I will go up there.
Can I gather up any of the chef's food supply, or was there really any food supply?
There's a
I mean, at
couple
which
of
we
food
probably at the very least
bits.
is a mess kit.
Yeah, there's a couple of food bits on the campfire here, and also this was his tent that he is currently dead inside of. He has
Sorry.
one arrow in his head and one arrow in his arm. But you're welcome to look in there if you wish. Leon, you popped in
Okay.
to look at Oliver?
Yeah, I was gonna say, hey, Master Tiefling, how you holding up?
Hello. Not exceptionally well, but I'm certain I'll be fine as soon as I get some rest and a little bit of time to mend a few of these injuries. He just looks over at the huge slice down on his arm and his side and such.
If it's all right with you, I'm gonna try a thing. Make sure. Just gonna wave his flute in the air. Make sure this is working.
Fair enough, but I do have a bit of work that I need to do on the side, so long as it doesn't require me to be perfectly still, that should work just fine. And I'm going to get the...
I just cast Healing Word.
Alright then.
I love that. You feel a little bit better listening to his jaunty tune. As it turns out, when a person who actually knows how to play the damn thing plays it, it's much better than the horrifying cacophony of...
Oh dang.
Jesus
Ooh, wow.
Christ.
I literally picked up the harmonica a day and a half ago. I have no idea how to play this thing.
Oh, you're better than the orc.
I just learned that you can make new notes by inhaling. I thought I was confined to just the 4 notes on this thing, which was like the major third and the fifth, and that was it. And I was like, this is not enough.
How the fuck do you play through fire and the flames on this? I can't do that by breathing out. Alright,
This is some powerful stuff. Hey, been working half my life trying to get some level of healing on this level in one quick move. Guess this is just proof that I've still got a long ways to go then, huh?
It's amazing what you can do with the right tools.
True this. Yeah, but you gotta start somewhere, and you can only keep moving upward for as long as you see the next peak. And with that, I am going to grab the cloth out of my herbalism kit and use it to start trying to apply the polish to the frying pan.
Cool. Okie dokie. So you start doing that, I'll take up most of the night, most likely.
I think its actual description technically classifies it as immediate, but
medium.
consider
Alright.
technically yes, but I'm just considering it's just like my character's a doctor. He's just using synthesized magics. It kind of makes more sense that he'd actually have to take the time to apply this.
Probably, yeah. So you take a little bit to work on that. Ruina, I have lost your character. Oh, there she is.
I'm up by the.
She blends in so well with this background. I hate it. So you check his body. Feel free to roll me probably survival.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Let's see, because his body is down a ways, because he was kicked off the area. So you do see probably like 3 or 4 arrows still at the top there. The rest were in his quiver, which he probably landed on, from what you can tell. It's a good 10-foot
Okay.
drop or so. So you found probably 3 arrows from where he was.
That's perfectly fine.
Nice. Ellie, do you talk with oh God, Leon? I keep wanting to call you Locke for some reason. Same L. Do you talk with Locke? God damn it. Do you talk
Yes, I
with
talked to
Leon?
the cowboy-like fellow.
Alright, cool. His name is not Locke. Fuck you, brain. Yeah, so talk? Question mark?
So, how are you feeling after the fight? I know wasn't it your first battle with orcs?
Yeah, you could say that.
So what are you gonna do now that you have your instrument?
Well, I don't rightly know. I was, well, when I came out here, I kind of was on a, kind of one mind, and, well, I'm a no minds now. I suppose I'll at the very least follow y'all back into town. Better than traveling alone.
I mean, it's always good not to travel alone.
Could have sworn I saw a rock in the distance. Real happy it decided not to fly this way.
Yeah.
Well, the more the merrier. I'm always for that. And you seem like an interesting guy.
Well,
I
I'm not
greatly
the one.
appreciate the heels.
I'm not the one bandying about with a frying pan. What's with that, by the way?
Oh, old friend of mine growing up granted it to me as a way to help me survive because I was basically by myself growing up. So I just use it as I go. I don't really like stabbing and a whole lot of blood. I'm not into gruesome things. So at least with a blunt object, it's less blood in a way. I guess I don't know. I'm rambling.
Are you sure the three of you ain't some sort of traveling comedy troupe? I'll take your silence as a maybe.
What was that?
She's with her kid at the moment, so.
What was
No,
that?
I asked if you guys were like a traveling comedy troupe. Because of the frying pan.
No, but I can definitely see that. We just grouped up together to stop the one orc, so the town was safe. But at this point, hopefully we'll stay together. Don't know where we're gonna go next, so.
Well, I don't know where I'm gonna go next, so that makes two of us.
Well, that's reassuring.
Alright, cool. Rowena.
Well, I'm gonna head to bed. I'm gonna head to bed, so I will catch you in the morning. Hopefully you're still around.
I'll be here.
All right, night.
Alright, cool. So Rowena. So you come back from the murder of that guy. Huh, how do I whisper to people? See, this is us trying to figure out fancy stuff. Some possible way of talking to other people. I've never had to whisper to somebody. Wait, no, I can do it from here, can't I? Nope, that's not how I do it.
I mean, we could potentially create like an additional.
Cool. I mean, we
You
have
could
the
always
journals.
just DM
so.
each other in Discord.
That is true.
That way you won't accidentally like type it in wrong and send something you want to be private to the rest of us, or
That's fair, yeah.
After all, it seems from what you set up
Spoilers.
here that everyone has their own personal journal that you set up for each of us. So we do technically all have a private channel chat with just simply the DM as well.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, cool.
At least that's what I assume.
Alright, so you come back from trying to figure out whether or not this guy had arrows. Do you do anything special after getting back into camp, based on your message?
Yes. I will go. Since I see everyone's probably getting ready for bed and all of that, I will go around and in between, I guess, the tents, whatever is available. I'm going to cast the alarm spell around.
Okay, that's a smart plan.
Oh, smart. Thank you.
Ooh, snazzy.
It,
Yeah, that's a
How
clever one. How much
long
range does it have?
I know. I don't know how many times I'll be able to do it. So I don't know where
Cut a
everyone
puddle
is
sign.
sleeping.
Is it a leveled spell or?
It is, it's 30 feet.
It's a first level, so I would probably say
Right.
you would be able to get. I would say probably you'd just be able to move around the entire. Oh, jeez. Yeah. So probably with like 2-ish, you'd probably be able to do it, and you'll be filling your spell slots anyways after this night. So effectively, you're able to just kind of encapsulate the entire town, more or less.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have to cast it twice, I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, so you pretty much just cast it twice. It is a very potent alarm, and so you are able to tell kind of who's where doing what. Do you check the tent where the captain came out from?
I would like to check anywhere that I saw anyone come out of.
Well, there's the dead cook right there. You knew the archer guy was in there. The captain was in there, and you assume that's of most importance. Also, I don't know how to get rid of words on the screen. So, maybe I can do... Oh,
The selector from the pencil, I think.
oh, there we go. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Cool. But yeah, so...
Archers
Huh?
first. I'll check the archers' tent first.
All right, cool. So you go into the archer's tent. Is extremely bare bones. From what you can tell, most of the orcs' living situations usually is quite bare bones. They usually make their tents out of the skin of the animals they slaughter. From what you've heard in stories, that includes most humanoids. So, not very fun. Doesn't smell particularly good, and you wouldn't want to touch the bed, but just from the smell coming out of it, whether or not that's grease or something else, you don't know. There seem to be a couple of instruments, some that are broken, some that are banged up. You seem to have a real flair for the interest in instruments. There's also a couple of trophies as well. A couple of fingers, weird-shaped heads of some creatures, and what looks to be a malformed dog.
Anything that looks elvish?
No. There's you can't really tell the difference between human hands and elven hands, or half elven hands. So potentially the weird fingers that are that are kind of like almost trophies, could potentially be half elf. But besides that, no.
And the dog, is it alive?
Oh no, it's like a mounted head kind of. Yeah, except that it's not
Okay.
actually mounted since it's a tent. It's pretty much just kind of leaned against the wall, but it is rather malformed. Do you have survival? You do have survival checked. If you want, you can roll survival to determine what's wrong with this dog. It's a rather high DC because of specifically your semi-isolated nature, but you're welcome to roll it.
Yeah, why not?
All right, cool. Unfortunately, you did not get the DC. So it just looks like a really malformed dog that has what looks to have been spittle running down its side before. Although it's an odd color, but you're not sure if that's something actually had when it was alive or if that's the choice of whoever mounted it, which was probably this guy.
Well, that's odd. Okay. Nothing interesting. Moving on. And then you said this one over here?
Mm-hmm. Oh, what was that?
I think.
Oh, there
I
we go.
don't know.
Alright, cool. So you walk into there. It looks very much so like a military kind of encampment. There's a table set up in the middle of it. It's a very large tent. Probably a good probably 8 feet high or so, and a good like 10 feet wide. It's a rather large tent. There's a couple of maps on the walls, what you assume is of this area, more or less. There's an X on the town that you guys suggested, if based on where you can see. You're a ranger. You're good at maps. You've always been good at maps. And so you can kind of see that bit. And then there's a note on the table. It looks like he had gotten up from the note when the guy started playing the pan flute when you guys arrived. It also looks like there's an empty parchment next to it with some fresh ink and a quill. So it looks like he was either going to respond to it or was going to write something else.
Oh, I'm gonna read that for sure.
Cool. Now,
This is
really nice
exactly what I'm
thing.
looking for.
I believe I can do this. Boop. Can I show this to people? Show players. Boosh.
Ooh.
Yeah. I found this out today, so this is fun.
Is this written in common?
This is written in Orcish, but I can't write Orcish. I assume you read Orcish, I think. I think you have a lot of languages.
I can
God,
read
you have a
almost
lot of
everything.
languages. I forgot you had so many. So this is really easy to read for you. This is shockingly elegantly written. You've seen a lot of orc writings, either from notes that people have stolen off of battle, that has been logged down in various different elven books. Although you don't read very many, you have read a lot of different ones about orcs. Not that much of it stuck. But you know that most orcs' handwriting is horrible. It's orcish. This one it has the feel of the orcs, and it's definitely in the orcs language, but it's written, from what you can tell, with a very fine hand. So probably not orc's hand. And then the last words, that is not an orcish name. But essentially, as you can see, is basically telling the orcs, you and your party, scouting party, shall advance through Ryotao. Destroy any village or town you encounter to make way for your army. For our army. This battle, Bloodtooth, is decided will be the most glorious, so make a large path. Blood shall rain, and you will meet your glorious end. Return in 3 months, so we will start preparations without you. Ashrin. Ashrin is 100% non-orcish name. It's actually an elven name.
Well, shit.
You have a lot of experience with elven names.
Yeah.
Does it seem familiar?
Oh no, not in the slightest. You have never heard that name before. You have heard a lot of different half-elves names, and a lot of half-elves tend to cross names because they're so common. Elves tend to use very different names every single generation because there's not a whole lot of full-blooded elves comparatively. So they have different names for pretty much every single elf. So you've never heard of... I just lost your name. Hold on. I just had it up.
Ashrin?
Ashrin, thank you. Ashrin. And so you've never heard of that name. That's odd because, well, not too odd for you. You possibly have just missed it in a book. But generally speaking, if it was like a name of one of your high elves, not high elves, but the council, for example, you would know it instantly because they're so rare. But you've never really heard of an elf named Ashrin before. So either it's in a book you didn't read, it's a very old elf, or it's an elf that no one knows.
Like me.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting.
There's also no timestamp.
I will take it along with a couple of the maps on the wall. Just whatever I could really stuff in my pack.
There's mostly it's of the Ryotao specifically. You also notice that it's not a super large area of Ryotao. I don't remember how big the mill spot is, but the entire continent's not super large. There's also a very small map detailing the section to get to the orc camp, but the orc camp itself is not on there, probably for obvious reasons. And the way itself has no real identifiers. It's probably just a way for them to kind of know roughly the location of where home is.
I definitely at least want the one with the X on the town,
Mm-hmm.
and then the one that, has some information about where the orc camp is.
Cool. All right, cool.
Now, wrap that up, walk out, and I guess sit by the fire. I'm pretty full health, so I'll kind of like take a watch.
Nice. All right. So the day, well, roughly the next 8-ish hours, effectively until they wake up, more or less. Time just kind of passes, I guess, for you guys. Nothing of particular interest happens. It's super weird for you, Rowena, because time it isn't seeming to flow, more or less. The sun doesn't change, or I suppose the sky doesn't change, the atmosphere doesn't really change, even the wind barely changes to pretty much any degree. The only sense of time that you really have is the fire, which eventually does go out unless you want to just keep it going. But yeah, time just doesn't seem to flow. Leon, if you're awake at the fire as well for this period of time, the same thing would happen to you.
Yeah, I do need the rest, so I am gonna sleep. I need my long rest.
But yeah, so you're just kind of sitting there watching the fire as time just doesn't seem to move. But eventually...
Yeah, I'll just... I was going to say, I'll be up for a little bit until, like, the fire starts dying down, and then I'll just kind of, like... I don't want to sleep in one of the orc tents, so I'll just sleep out there by the fire.
Alright, cool. The logs are pretty large, so you can just rest your back against it, essentially, and pass out. The alarm is good, so no one really needs to be up or anything like that. But yeah, eventually you pass out as well. The time ticks forwards. And eventually everyone slowly starts to wake up, more or less around the same time. It's, you wake up and nothing has really changed. The rest of you as well. Oliver... It just feels like a normal day. You're so used to this at this point that it doesn't even affect you. You go sleep, you wake up, it's a new day. You can tell. But yeah, so you guys wake up, you all pretty much exit into the main area. Rowena is more or less groggy from sleeping on a log for most of the night-ish.
Yeah, I'm kind of fine. I sleep against trees when I'm
That is true. You
scouting.
do like your trees. Oliver does finish with his preparations for the pan. If you could post that real quick, Oliver. So I can just apply anything I need to her pan.
I think it just makes it a +1 weapon, right?
How should I say this? Hey, Sen, can you double... actually, can I just hit... Yeah, there we go.
Oh,
so
cool.
This is the full effect of what I just did to the frying pan. It adds a +1 to her attack and damage rolls with it through magic.
Nice.
That's what the
so
polish
it's a
does
magic
for it.
weapon. Cool.
Nice.
So
nice.
I will come out and I'll start by approaching Eleonora if she is up, actually.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That should just about do it. Should maintain this edge. Well, not really edge. It should prove a lot more effective for a good long while at the very least. And he's going to hand the pan back to her. It looks brand new, and it is but perhaps a little bit shinier.
Ooh.
Oh, how exciting. Thank you so much. It looks basically brand new and it feels great. Thank you.
Hey, no worries. The merchant said that there was a little bit something special with this polish. Something about how he used to use this sort of thing for a couple of his weapons, and it almost made it feel like they were swinging harder.
Oh, that'll be fun.
But you'll have to tell me how that really... But you'll have to tell me what that really feels like. I can't really say I've really tried it on my dagger or my sickle. Not really something I regularly use for combat, as you probably could tell last night.
Yeah. No, I get what you mean. I'll definitely let you know how it feels and how it hits.
Oh,
Thank you. That
before I
would be-
forget, Rowena, from your map, you can also see you guys are probably around maybe 40 or 50 feet from the Trail of Bloody Tears, probably to the north.
Okay.
Yay.
Okay. When everyone gathers around, I'll
Mhm.
tell them, what's up, what I've found.
Nice.
And I'll be like, so, where are you guys going? Because I feel like I need to go check out this orc camp a little bit.
I don't really have specifics to go to. I mean, I was told to meet up a half elf at a goblin bar to know more about the resistance, but
Without
other than
even a
that,
roll,
I can follow.
second.
yeah, without even a roll, Leon, you would absolutely recognize that from the description.
Oh, dang! Yeah, I wouldn't recommend going to that bar. Not exactly a friendly establishment, especially not to strangers.
So maybe she's already gone.
Uh, let's just say places like that don't welcome people like me.
Ah, okay. That's reassuring.
What do you mean, people like you? Music man?
I mean, wandering minstrels from far away. I've heard stories, is all. Definitely
Okay.
never been there in person.
Do you think it would
I
be a good idea to
totally
go stop by there if they did accept our sorts of folks?
I'm just saying, maybe we should avoid goblins.
Yeah, I can't say I've had too much contact with them. And though if they're anything like the orcs, I definitely would not be the most pleased. I had way too many trying to wander into my office and walk off with my patients. Just as that was just like a frustrated hand on his forehead.
I mean, could always just kill them if they get too rowdy. It's not that
Well,
hard.
if we make our way in that direction, we can pop in, but not too much of a hurry, because I don't even know much of the resistance group as is, so.
Resistance to what?
Honestly, I have no idea because it was mostly bar talk. The bartender just told me, it's like, yeah, there's this resistance group and something about the war that's been supposedly going on and everything. So I've lived in a forest. We don't talk about the war, and I didn't even know it was going on. So
So wait, amongst the half elves, I'm the only one who knows about this.
About
You're
what specifically?
half-elf?
So you don't know about the half elf rebellion?
I don't.
Rena just kind
Okay.
of like looks to the side of it. She knows a little.
Well,
She's heard chatter.
there have been tales from far away about the oppression of your peoples. And how
I'm
the
surprised to even find another one like me. Looks at Urina.
She smiles. You can't see me, so I have to say it.
You can't see me.
Master Tiefling,
So-
if you don't mind me saying, you don't seem particularly phased by the whole day thing.
I've kind of lived here my entire life. This is pretty normal for me. Is it too much different in the Lightlands, or I assume? I don't know. I don't know what you folks call the area you came from.
Are you from the Lightlands? What should I call you?
Oh, Leon Graves.
Okay.
My friends just call me Shaky. You can call me Shaky.
Oh, pleased to meet you, Shaky.
Am I already your friend? That's quite a jump, real fast.
This point-
Okay, hang on, Sin. I was
Uh-huh.
gonna say Locke. This is your fault.
This point, he hasn't pointed a sword at me, and he did kind of say, "Hey, my head last night." At this point, I'm willing to call him a friend.
Oh, I pointed something much more dangerous than a sword at you.
I think he's pretty trustworthy. My gut hasn't said otherwise, so
Oh yeah, no, I trust him. Like, sure, I have no reason not to, but I was just kind of baffled how fast he was ready to just call me a friend. Then again, it's kind of wild how you did as well, but
I'm
about
all
to
about
say.
building bridges. So listen, you guys have me at a disadvantage.
cool.
Would your
Not
behavior have been
cool.
too much more aggressive if we hadn't? Yeah,
I
that's the
think he
cockhead.
means your
I'm
name.
asking for your names.
I am Dr. Oliver Richards.
Doc, got it.
Oh no.
I'm Eleonora, but you can call me Ellie for short.
Skillet, got it.
Oh no. You call me Verena.
Ruina, got it.
Thank you.
Kill it. Oh, yeah, I want to
Ellie
clip
rolls
that
her eyes.
section so bad of just, you guys have me at a disadvantage. Good.
Oh my gosh.
That was great.
It's good to have people at a disadvantage.
Cool. I love how
I
two
still
of
think
you
it's
don't
funny
have
no
last
ogres.
names that you specified.
I mean,
I just said you could call
I just
me
gave
Verena.
myself I just gave myself a relatively generic sounding last name, honestly.
Fits really well. All right. Do you share your maps with them by any chance, by the way?
Yeah, no, when they come out, I kind of like lay everything out, say,
Ah, nice.
this
nice.
is what I'm planning on doing. I don't know what you guys are planning on doing, but this is what's up. Tiefling, you can tag along if you'd like, I suppose.
It gives me an opportunity to keep an eye out for that disease I'm trying to track, as well as that Conrad I'm still trying to find again. I'd be more than willing to join you. At the very least, the town we just came from seems to be fairly stable. Besides, at this point, and regardless of previous interactions, it seems his amounts of survival are a lot higher here.
Are they? I mean, I guess, yeah.
You saw
You did
what
almost die.
you saw what two orcs did to me last night.
Oh yeah, I did. It was quite invigorating. I mean, good job with what you did. You know, congrats.
You still scare me. Jesus.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Staring dead
you're
better
real
for
scary.
saying that.
Oh, I love this group. Ellie, you would also have noticed the trail of bloody tears on the map is not hidden at all and has very large words with trail of bloody tears. Although it is written in Orcish, so it affected. Like, actually, do you read Orcish?
I told everyone everything that I saw. I said I was going to like the orc camp, you know, laid stuff out.
Cool. So she would have pointed out the words trail of bloody tears then. Otherwise, it would make it'd be gibberish. But yeah, so you guys do see the two maps. The orc. Leon, roll me. God, would that be? Let's go with perception. Survival is technically tracking, but
to see the map.
see what the where the orc camp technically lies.
I'm
You have a
just
lot
gonna
of.
rely on my allies.
All right, that works. Yeah.
I can't read Orcish, and I'm not making a point of trying to peek at the map.
Cuckoo. Yeah, I'm assuming none of you guys have too much experience with actually map tracking. Like figuring out where one map ends, where another one is, and then putting that into a mental space.
You could roll. I do believe that's actually part of what survival checks are, so we could just do that.
Yeah. I mean, if you guys want to, you can pretty much kind of see more or less where that orc camp is, because at the moment it's just more or less a map of a effectively a large stretch of road to orc camp. It has at the very top of the map, in large words, orc camp. But aside from that, the map itself doesn't have too much information on it. Probably for reasons of in case they all die. But yeah, really, if you want to kind of figure out where that camp is, you're welcome to roll survival. It's not
Please.
particularly high. Okay.
Needless to say, I think she succeeded.
So you're not book smart, but god fucking damn are you good with maps. You are a fucking wizard with maps. Eleanor, not so much. You know maps like the back of your fucking hand, apparently.
I mean, I guess if everyone's doing this, hold on while I find my survival
Hey,
button.
welcome to. So you can tell with absolute perfect ease.
I mean, I'm passable.
Oliver you've been in a trading town, so you would also to some degree know of it. That map, from what you can tell, what you've seen from a lot of other different maps, from what you've seen from a bunch of your comrades, I guess, peers, whatever they may be, from a lot of their words, a lot of their maps that they've hand drawn or anything like that. That path is at the very edge of Rio Town, directly next to Cataclysm. So effectively, from what you can tell, the orc camp it's specifying is where the where Bloodtooth would be. From what you would assume, if Bloodtooth is actually in the major orc camp, you assume he would be, but you only assume that because the council never moves. But that's like, from what you can tell, that's the big orc camp. If your mapping is correct with a 25, you're 100% confident your mapping skills are more than well enough. But yeah, that specific
this.
Huh?
I said I got this.
Yeah, that specific stretch of road, from what you can tell, leads directly to the big ass orc camp, which is assumedly going to be sending its army sometime soon. I have another map for you guys, and I think I posted it inside of... Did I post it in World? I probably didn't post it. Hold on.
If you're gonna start posting maps, can you make a channel for just maps?
Oh yeah, sure, I can do that. I'll put in lore. I don't have a whole lot of channels for maps. I don't have a whole lot of maps I'll be putting in here, but I can at least put in this one. I haven't fixed it.
Yeah, but I'm gonna keep going back to it.
Yeah, you're good. I haven't fixed it up yet, so... Shit, where is it? Oh, I got this from my
The new
sister
channel he
so
just made,
long
it was
ago.
called Lore.
Yeah, lore, and then... Oh, shit. I was staring at the word lore. I was like, Alright, I'll just let the stream see this at some point. I now have to go and grab it from my sister. World... Where's my world map? See, my sister made it a little while ago, and so I know for a fact I have it, but I can't remember where I saved it. Hold on. No, it has file. Discord, stop being slow, you cheese biscuit donkey mother eater. Oh, here we are. Gotcha. So this is essentially the world map.
They're delicious, and I will not have you besmirch their name.
They're only delicious sometimes, thank you.
Someone's never been to Red Lobster.
I want to go back. Ellie, take me back to Red Lobster, god damn it.
I hope you don't do it. I don't like Red Lobster.
How do you not like Red Lobster?
Every time I've gone there, I've gotten really sick. But
You
their
poor
biscuits are really
soul.
good.
All right, so there's the map. This is my sister made it incarnate. Let me share
I was about to
this.
say this looks like an incarnate map.
Yeah, it's decent, but I still need to edit a little bit, add in a couple of the other things, and I'll show this to the stream real quick, and now I'll explain what's actually on the map. Hold on. Map. There you are. Whoops, I need to fit that to the stretch screen. There we go. Okay.
I was about to ask a question about it, but I suppose it's probably better to wait until the stream can actually see it.
There we go. Okay, stream should be able to see it now, I think. So essentially, the middle part is the is Rio Tao. At the top middle, there's like a strip that leads from the top left to the top right, which is pure red. It's not on that map for whatever reason. I don't think my sister could have added it, but I don't know. And that's the Trail of Bloody Tears. You guys directly below that. And then there's the town directly in the center, which is Greytown, I think. On the top left is the Orc encampment inside that weird little brownish, grayish area. On the top right, inside the dense forest, is the Elven camp. On the bottom right is inside the less dense forest, is the gnomes. On the bottom left, where you guys have heard, is the goblins and the goblin shroom forest area, the fungi lands. And in the bottom middle, you guys have no idea what's in there, with probably the exception of Leon. Yep.
I'll never tell.
So that's the map that you guys can see. That's basically the
We'll
world map.
find a
up at some
way to
point.
make him say it. We will find a way. No, I don't know.
Yeah. And then,
I can say that in a cuter voice if you want.
oh god.
Believe
I'll
me, I
never
have no
tell.
doubt you can.
I'll never tell.
Beautiful. But yes, that's the world map. Most places would have had this specifically inside of the Elven area. There absolutely would have been a world map of this. Probably where Leon was. Oliver, I doubt you would have seen one. Ellie, I doubt you would have seen one.
A map of the whole area?
Yeah, a map of the entire continent, essentially.
I mean, I'd wager, or I'd probably have seen it.
You might have seen
considering
one
it-
from some travelers, actually. Yeah, because you had
Yeah,
travelers.
it's again, I lived in a merchant town. I'd wager somebody had one of those.
That's true. So, Ellie, you're the only one who's never seen one of these maps until probably Rowena pulls one out. I assume, Rowena, you would carry one on you. Just be able to, actually see the area.
Most likely.
On the far left and far right, by the way, is 2 columns on the maps. To the best of Ellie's and Rowena's knowledge, that would have been the column of celestial light on the right side, which is to the god Pelor. I don't think you guys can see it from inside Rio Tao, but if you're on that side of the continent, you can see it very clearly from pretty much anywhere on that side of the continent. And the same goes with the left side, but you guys have no idea what the name of that is. There is no record of it inside of the Elven territories. Oliver might know it, but probably would be called the Pillar of... Oh, I have such a good one for the light. Now the dark one is fading. We'll name the dark one later. But yeah, so that's
Umber
kind
Tower?
of...
I don't know.
Yeah. That's kind of the, more or less the area that you guys can see to some degree, which is pretty cool. And then, yeah, Trail of Bloody Tears is directly above you guys, just north, very, very close. Honestly, Rowena, if you wanted to show Elliot, you could, considering she often remarks that she doesn't know what the war is about. So that's probably the easiest way to show someone what war is. But yeah, that's knowledge that you guys
If
have.
you wanted to know what war is, just immediately stabs a random guy. This is how it works.
Don't know what war is. Oliver, come here.
Should I be concerned about that look?
I love that. But yes, that's the knowledge that you guys currently have.
Right. So, did you guys want to go back to that town, or because I'm definitely going to try to get as close as I can to where this is, to try and get as much information as I can before I head back.
Wait, I think I misunderstood part of that. She said that she wants to go back to the town to gather information for this path, or...
No, I'm going to go as close as I can to the orc encampment that I kind of pieced together from the maps.
Gotcha.
And then I'm going to head back to
The Citadel.
the Citadel.
Sounds like quite the dangerous task. Are we sure? Or that all of us, or that we're all prepared for that?
Well, that's why I'm asking if you wanted to come with. I understand you might be scared, Tiefling, but I assure you, you'll be fine.
I'm with Doc on this one. I don't know what we stand to gain by peeping on their camp.
I recognize the strong danger, but I'm not certain that the four of us are really in the right position to take on all of them.
I'm not
Well,
gonna
I
fight
mean,
you,
that
no.
depends how close we have to get to even get the knowledge. Because it could be just a look over the hill and be like, oh, they're right there. Good.
Exactly.
I suppose, but we still don't really know what it is that we're walking into.
Ought to be careful, a little bit stealthy.
I wasn't exactly born in the wilderness, nor was I really raised in it.
Where were you born?
I was born in a merchant village of several. Probably about 24, or no, probably make that about 50 miles to the south, I'd say. Silver Pass, it was called. Used to be a common or cross-through location that merchants would use as they were carrying their wares to the northern areas. Frequently would pop in to restock on materials and take a couple days of rest.
Where are you from?
Not sure I believe you.
I gotta know, where are you from, half elf? What don't fight for the elves?
Rowena?
I fight for the elves, so it's not me he's talking to, right?
I may have misjudged your character then. I apologize.
Excuse me?
I mean,
I
hey,
mean,
you
she
get
hasn't
usually...
fought me yet, so I'd like to think she doesn't fight half elves.
I fight for the elves.
Well, I just assumed because you didn't know about the... You know what? I made a mistake. That's on me.
I know a tiny bit about this so-called resistance. I'm not 100% sure of what I think about it at this moment. If that's what you're doubting about me.
You know what? I'm starting to think I may have gotten you and Skillet mixed up.
Yes, I am a scout for the Elven Army.
Yeah, I definitely got you and Skillet mixed up. I got your backstories all jumbled in my head.
Thanks.
It's almost as though this is my first time hearing it.
Oh, did you want to know where I was born? I was born in the Citadel.
What is that like?
Yeah, I'm a bit curious myself.
Like, is that where most half elves are supposed to be from? Because I was.
Oh, you cough.
Well, I'm intrigued as well. Partially because it also gives me more time to not to not be wandering into what is potentially a death trap.
Because it gives me more time to figure out which spells I prepared this morning.
Actually, that's not a bad idea.
Ellie?
So, what's it like growing up in the Citadel? Is that where a lot of the half elves are from? Because I grew up basically by myself in a forest full of gnomes that hated me. So, all I had was my old friend and a fry pan, and wild animals, and eventually the bar. So,
The gnomes hated you?
I think it's more of a size thing, but they don't like any other race than their own. No one really knows of the forest or enters the forest unless you're a gnome. So,
How did you find yourself there?
from what I've heard, my parents begged for the gnomes to take me in because they didn't want me being. He's the old gnome said that they didn't want me to be like war fought
No, you got off again.
Uh-oh.
or treated badly in their town, but I never knew where. So
I suppose similar. Her mindset comes for most half races in general.
yeah, so that's why I ended up in the forest as a baby. So I don't really know of anything else. That's why hearing about the war is definitely new. I've only heard some little talk about it, but it was from drunk people, so.
Well, I don't know where to start. There is a lot to talk about. What would you like to know exactly? The day to day?
Well, it seems like you grew up fine. What was your life like in the Citadel?
Ooh.
I suppose it was a normal life, as normal as one could get.
I'm already sensing trouble. Can I insight this?
You're welcome, insight versus her bluff. Or deception, or whatever it's called.
Deception, I believe, yeah.
Yeah,
Don't
that's
worry.
that's the insight
don't
versus
worry, my buff is
deception.
tiny. I think you've got this. Maybe
Oh,
not.
are you sure? You sure about that, Dan? Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, from what you can tell, she's it seems like what she's saying is true, you know. It seems like she had a good life from what you can tell. She's her eyes are kind of shifty, but yeah, from what you can tell, yeah, she seems okay. All right, cool.
Fair enough. Oh,
By one.
I was about to say fair enough, but then I realized that was Eleanor's insight.
Yeah, that was Ellie's. Ellie, you can you have you don't have a whole lot of experience with people, but you deal with drunk people very well, and you know some classic telltale ways to tell if someone's lying to you, namely that they're drunk. But in this occasion, you can tell a few things about her. Now you got to know her a little bit. I don't know, Rowena, give me a tell that you do.
See, the thing is, she's not exactly lying. It is a normal life for a half elf that she has lived.
That's true. So yeah, you could tell she's definitely shifty, I guess is the statement. But from what you can tell, she doesn't appear to be lying. Just
Could
very
be just uncomfortable. It was a random question.
yeah. It's like she's stepping on the question, just kind of shifting it slightly. So she's not quite lying. She's just shifty.
She kind of tilts her head to the side and looks in the opposite direction of where her chin goes.
Mhm.
Well, it sounds like it's been great based on everything, so maybe we'll see it one day. That'd be exciting. Maybe I'll even fit in. Ha ha ha.
Ordinarily, I'd agree, if not for the fact that I'd probably be shot if I had found anywhere within 10 miles of that location. If that.
Probably by me.
Probably.
I mean, even if it wasn't, I'm fairly certain. And he just says, looking at her.
It would. She just kind of like under her breath mouths to him. It would definitely be me.
But either way, you see my point.
Did I hear that?
Yeah, you heard that.
Nice.
Yeah, you're scary.
We are friends, not food.
I mean, to be fair, Oliver did directly say, "You still scare me."
We're friends, not food, Miss Shark Lady. I love it. But yeah, so yeah. Ellie, do you have any intrigues on the Trail of Bloody Tears, on the orc camp itself that you can see the maps of, or anyone else's personal history?
I mean, Leon's been awfully quiet. I'm still kind of curious on what he's up to or his backstory.
You should probably ask him then.
So, Leon, you've been quiet. Is there anything you want to let us in? Like, introduce yourself?
Not particularly.
What's your
Why do you
backstory?
ask?
I mean, I'm a pretty trusting person, but these two I've had 48 hours with about. You, I've just met in the last 24. I trust you, but I need to know a little more about you.
All right, what do you want to know?
What sort of environment did you grow up in?
Well, it's hard to explain. It was a lot greener than here. It is from far away, overseas.
Overseas?
Yeah. Believe it or not, this isn't the only piece of land in the world.
I mean, I didn't figure.
There's there's land beyond the oceans. Bigger lands even. Wilder lands.
Hold up.
Indeed. Does it have a... How does its sun... solar... how should I say this? How does its... Solar...
The sun dances back and forth. Goes from east to west and west to east. Back and forth every day.
That's...
The days are punctuated by darkness. Sometimes the sun goes north.
That's intriguing. I'd like to see it someday.
So, the night and day share each other. Kinda. Nope.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, how exactly did you find yourself here, though? Other than the situation with the flute, I would wager you had a different reason for being in the general area before that situation occurred.
Well, you see, it's a tale of daring and adventure. I was crewing a ship. Now, you may not know this, but where I'm from, many ships would hire minstrels to entertain their crew. Our ships were huge compared to the ones I've seen on this tiny island of yours. And, well, we got caught in a fierce storm. It was as though, the Storm Lord had extended his hand in grace and we spat in his mouth.
I get that reference.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
I know that reference.
And then anyway, I woke up on the shore in the shipwreck here and been wandering ever since. And then some scoundrel stole my flute, so I decided to steal it back, but then an orc killed him. And now here we are.
That's quite the chaotic tale.
Yeah, the flute was mine. I stole it first.
You stole it first.
It's rightfully mine.
I know I haven't been out
Insight.
killing forest that much, but I don't think that's how that works.
You are welcome to roll insight on that.
Also, Ruina asked me to re-roll as well.
Oh yeah. You can
So that one
tell.
will be for
You have
Shaky.
you have no idea what to believe.
Yeah, he seems
And
like
here's
he's
one for
telling the
Rowena.
truth as much as a bard can. Oh,
Yeah, I
God.
think whatever Ruina is having me roll for, I pick up nothing.
Oh, there were also we were also attacked by sirens. I managed to kill about 8 of them. 80 of them. And there was a giant jellyfish. What capsized our boat. I couldn't kill the jellyfish, unfortunately. I must have slipped between its tentacles.
From what you could tell, this sounds as true of a tale as the one Ellie tells. It sounds like a bard really in the making here. It's a glorious tale. It goes on for like 20, 30 some minutes. It's fantastic.
The ship's name was
Oh my
the
gosh.
ship's
And
name
the
was
worst part
Jackdaw.
is none of us can call the BS.
Don't you dare try to do any charisma check against me. I got you beat.
I mean that's unquestionable, but it's just like I think it's pretty reasonable that under any given circumstance, under those sorts of comments, just about anyone would roll an insight, regardless of whether or not they have a chance of success.
I mean, Ruina's
Just
letting
saying.
it go. If you're taking the heat off me, go on.
Radio's just saying they're like, oh yeah, oh that sounds awesome. Yeah, good job. Heights.
Completely true.
No shit. So there I was. The ship's name was the Jackdaw.
Oh fuck me.
We were horribly lost at sea. We sailed for 14 days straight, having been thrown away from the coast by rogue winds, when suddenly a giant jellyfish came up from underneath, threatening to capsize our boat, and as luck would have it, that's exactly when the harpies attacked. Now we knew the harpies must have meant that there was land nearby, so our navigator quickly jumped up to the mast, but alas, it was too late. The jellyfish had done us in. And, well, the storm only made things worse. I forgot there was a storm in this story.
Oh my god.
Storm
It
made
makes
things
me
worse.
wonder
Oh
how
yeah, there's
with
the
all that
storm.
going on- It makes me wonder how, with all that going on, you somehow still managed to find your way to the shore. Must have been one heck of a crash, or something must have happened to all those creatures in transit.
Yeah, I wish I could say I got lucky, but no amount of luck would have helped anyone survive. No, I'm just exceptionally skilled and a very good swimmer.
I'm impressed you have all your stuff and clothes intact.
Oh no, these aren't the clothes I was, stole these off of a farmhand.
Those are awfully fancy for being from a farmhand.
Really? Cloak, a hat, and a button-up shirt?
I mean, again, I failed at insight, and I don't think you would have the opportunity to do it again.
You know what? If the DM will allow it, I will roll another deception.
Oh, you're more than welcome to. This is from farmhand. Are you sure about that?
Okay, I guess we're doing this.
Yes, I guess we are. Do
This is
not
from a fucking
test me.
farmhand. This is from a goddamn beautiful farmhand.
We just want to call out Leon. We just want to call him out.
I mean,
You'd be
honestly
a-
speaking, I wasn't expecting that to even have the chance to make that role. It's just like, he's proven that his character is convincing. He probably could have just argued that they were just like some sort of more successful farmer,
Look,
just like
I
a
wanna see
larger
how
farm representing a larger village. That probably would have actually been
I
plausible.
wanted to see how I'd roll. I wanted to see how I roll.
Fair enough,
You
but
are the
You'd
king
be-
of tales.
You'd be amazed how opulent some of them elven farmers are. Where do you think I heard all about the rebellion?
Oh hey, there
My
we
ship,
I see your point.
my ship capsized near those elven towns.
Oh, no way. So you've been to the Citadel.
Just quietly, big-eyed, just staring right at you, fully intrigued and fully enticed with your stories.
I've been in that mountain dwarf tavern, kind of on the outskirts of the Citadel, but never been to the Citadel myself.
Oh, okay.
Have you been to Grumbly's bar before?
Which one's that again?
Out of character, that would have been the bar that I believe is named Donkeys or something.
Oh, yeah, I've been there.
When?
Sometime between when I capsized and now. It's kind of hard to track the days in this place.
Oh, we could have met.
True.
Hopefully you weren't one of the drunks I had to deal with or send out with my fry pan.
You get used
I
to
think
it.
I'd remember that. No, who am I kidding? I could have forgotten.
A pretty lady with a frying pan is a hard sight to forget.
It depends on how inebriated I was.
Especially with how big the frying pan is.
So his tale goes on for a while. Y'all are just fucking raptured by his lovely tales of daring deeds and deadly do-rights. This is a bard's truest form of showmanship. Sure, we'll go.
You could have said showboating and gotten the pun in there, but
Truest
the
form of
opportunity-
showboating.
True, but this is kind of what a bard's known for doing. Kind of.
Well, it's half of it, but the other half we weren't getting into.
So then there's more to a bard than just being horny.
Well, it's also fighting dragons, but we also haven't gotten there.
trying to think of what rhymes with dead dragon.
Not a dead dragon.
I think he means the first word specifically.
Super. Alright, yeah. So you guys have your maps laid out, listening to his tale for a while. You guys have no idea how long it is. The fire is... I don't think any of you restarted the fire, so yeah. It legitimately just feels like a timeless area as he's just telling his tales over and over. Well, not over and over, but he's just telling his tale. And
No, I'm definitely doing it over and over for dramatic effect. At least 8 times.
Alright.
As a matter of fact, he's probably been doing it over and over again all night.
All day, all
Enjoying
night.
all
Okay,
day.
no, I'm sorry. I
There
had
you
to.
go. Whatever time of day has passed on at this point. His tales are just rapturing to such a degree. Not even your maps have blown at this point. Like the wind has just kind of died down, and so it's just his voice for a while. But eventually, he does get to the end of his tale, which mostly involves meeting you folks, I think.
5 years later.
It actually ends with a very heroic story about how I single-handedly killed a goblin and stole my flute back. Without the help of anyone else.
Well, that's just passive.
A goblin.
I was there.
Perhaps we don't really know how
Goblin.
many fights he's been in before he encountered us, so...
I got my loot from a goblin. Alone. My flute
To be
was
fair,
from
though, we
the
don't
orc.
really know
My
how many
loot.
fights he's been in
because
since
it was okay. Yeah,
before
never
he
mind.
encountered us.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot. We were fighting.
No,
orcs,
no.
not goblins.
Right, sorry, I meant to say orc. You were right to be indignant, Emika. Because that was the point. I was cutting you out of the story in hopes to get a reaction out of you.
And the worst part is, Oliver wouldn't have been able to tell the difference because he was on the opposite side of the camp that entire time.
About to say, I'm really certain I picked up on the orc that was fighting you, but then you ran off.
Yeah.
A tactical retreat.
The most tactical.
Yeah, I knew you had things in hand. I knew I could trust you.
She barely
Hold on,
got any
sounds like
wounds
quite
from
the-
it, so.
I
Still though,
got
sounds like quite the
nothing.
impressive. Sounds like quite the impressive trip you took. Perhaps you should write a story about it. I'm certain.
I was
I'm certain
thinking
more
of
individual.
I was thinking more of a ballad.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't say I know how much about the musical world, but you would know better than I would how successful that would be. At any rate, though, I should probably get started on my daily routine here. He says, pulling the pendant out of his shirt again.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Oh. Let me know what he says.
Is that to us, Ellie?
Yes.
Ah, okay.
Oliver, let me know what he says. Don't you? Isn't prayer a way to talk to them, or no?
It can be. Sometimes I get a response, but problem with deities is it's not always. That doesn't always tend to be the case, especially here in the Greylands, where, well, he has kind of informed me through a handful of conversations, split apart between all of them, that it is a bit hard to communicate and pass his power through this area. So I'll tell you if I hear anything, but I can't say for certain it'll happen.
He's not much of a.
I
That
think
would
she meant
explain a couple
talker.
things as well.
Oh yeah, Leon, you're just watching them casually talk about God. One of them is like, you know, normal God prayer kind of mention. The other one's just talking about as if she just talks to them.
Yeah, I wasn't born yesterday. I know gods exist. This is a
I mean,
this is a
hey
D&D
Sin, it's as I
setting.
told.
Totally
I mean,
not
Sin, it's like I told you. Most clerics can actually prove that their deity exists.
That is true. Although in this setting specifically, most clerics have difficulty talking with Palor and the other one as well.
No. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
That's
probably
his
talking in
name
eyebrow
is.
then.
Cool. What was that, Ellie?
Oh, I couldn't remember the god's name.
Palor. It's pale and or.
Or
Oh,
unless you meant shard.
Yeah. She for some reason has great difficulty with the word Palor, and I don't know why.
There's only Snake Lady and Old Friend. We're good. I can never remember their names. I don't know why.
It's pale and or.
I'm certain it'll be a bit easier as they crop up a lot more and become more important to the story.
That is true. Alright, yeah. So, I believe, Rowena, your plan was to go check out the orc encampment in Cataclysm, after heading back to town, I believe. What are the rest of y'all's plans?
I mean, I was just planning. I only really had immediate plans for what I was going to do while I was still in the camp at the moment,
Okay.
which basically was give a prayer for protection into Paylor and probably proceed to scatter a bunch of seeds in order to do some quick bird watching before we go.
Nice, nice. Leon?
Aiming my crossbow at the birds to try to get dinner.
No!
Let's just scatter some seeds here. Oh, that's a nice cube. Oh my god. Fresh dinner. Alright, cool.
Hey, DM, help me out. Which
Yes.
side was the dark side? Was it the east side or the west side?
I believe it would be the
Dark
west.
side is west.
Okay.
Mhm.
So on your map, the west is broken up into two parts. Which part's which? Then which one's the northwest? Which one's the southwest?
Northern was the orcs, and southern, he said, was the goblins, I believe.
Yep.
Got it. Thank you.
Yep. No problem. And then the same layout for the right side, dense forest and less dense forest for elf and gnome, respectively. Okay, cool. Ellie, do you have any plans being here? You are close to the Trailblade Tiers. You guys could go back to the inn and talk to the bartender. Rowena's plan. Anything?
I'll probably take a look. Since it's not too far, I'll probably just take a peek at the
Trailblade
Trail
Tiers.
Blood. Yeah, Trail of Bloody Tears.
Mhm.
And then probably try to just stick with the group. I like to think that once Rowena leaves, everyone else will kind of follow her. And we'll all stick together. I don't want to be alone.
Cool.
I will convince with food.
I have food for you guys. So Rowena, Ellie wants to go visit the Trailblade Tiers. Do you want to go with her? Do you have any other plans?
Me? Mine, I laid out the choices. Either we go back to town or we can go to the Trail of Bloody Tears. I'm voting Trail of Bloody Tears. So
Sticking with my Elfie.
I'm just right now trying to decide whether to wait for the prayer to be done, or to just leave and you can catch up.
Just watch
This
his
is just kind of
soul
standing
go
there.
Of the conversation if he may have, but
What was that, Ellie?
I'm kind of curious of the results from the prayer, but that's it.
Well, the prayer more or less goes off like he normally does most days. Unfortunately, there is no. Do you send a message to your god, Oliver, or?
Probably just a general conversation about meeting a new face and thanking him for protection over the course of the past day, but
Cool.
I don't exactly expect to have too much
Response.
communication in the sense of what you would normally have with like a close friend because, well, we don't really have much contact.
That is
even
true.
through this.
You get, unfortunately, no response. Kind of like what you were expecting. By the way, during your sleep, Eleonora, you did get a, I suppose, message of sorts. You got a couple lines, which you're welcome to say to people if you wish to. Otherwise, it's just stuck in the back of your head. And then you guys are pretty much good to go to the trail if you want. Huh? What was that, Ellie?
Panic.
You know the line. It's in
game
your
of-
journal.
A game of do they trust me enough or am I just too crazy?
Exactly. But yeah, if you
Yes,
don't
on
want,
both counts.
yeah, both. If you don't want to say it, we'll just move over to the Trailblade Tears.
Is everyone gathered up again? I think I will bring it up.
Yeah, pretty much everyone's around. Probably y'all are packing up to start on your walk. Get all your rations in place, get all your bedrolls if you use them up, etc., etc.
So since everyone's here, I kind of got word from the light god Palor. If you
Indeed.
guys are interested to know.
What did he say?
Did he mention me?
Wait, what?
It's more so of a riddle. Old friend, I mean, Palor doesn't really speak in specifics. He's always been a stern fellow.
Well, I mean, you can go ahead. I'm ready to hear it if you're ready to
so-
share it.
So he says, the mark of one bends in two. Together and separated you were. A close companion or a feared foe. The choice to be is always yours.
I love your child being like, I'm here too.
Yeah. The mark of one bends in two. Together and separated you were. A close companion or a feared foe. The choice to be is always yours. Again, he never speaks in specifics. And never in full detail, because despite all these years, he still doesn't really talk to me about himself in heavy detail.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, that's still a lot more from him than I got this morning. It was quite literally perfectly silent for me.
That's weird.
I mean, isn't he?
No,
always?
no, not exactly.
There's no way. There's no way.
No way, what?
There's just no way. There's no way he talks. There's no way. You,
I mean, I have heard a masculine voice in my mind on a couple of occasions after I finished prayer. And surprisingly, none of them have exactly even telling me to stop praying to him.
Well, if the voice in your head starts telling you to kill all your friends before they have a chance to kill you,
If they
yeah,
did, I'd probably discard this. Because he just says holding up the pendant.
I highly doubt he'd ask anyone to kill anyone. At least he's never asked me to do something like that. So he doesn't seem like the type of person to have someone kill the other. But if you do end up dying, it's kind of, well, there you go.
that's real reassuring.
I have a
Well,
quick
he does
question.
care in a way. I mean, I have my suspiciously strong fry pan. I'm sounding crazy, aren't I?
Yes.
Any more crazy than a random doctor that just happens to be out in this area?
Here's a spade. You guys just keep digging yourself a little deeper.
I see your point.
We got a full shovel going on here.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes.
Would Verena know anything about how or why?
Mhm.
Would she know, like, if Paylor wants the elves to fight the orcs?
The only knowledge that you would have based on that is stories you've heard. The paladin that you've have not ever actually seen personally, but you've heard stories of, that goes on the front lines. Technically, by all rights and considerations from what you've heard of, should be the absolute right-hand person of Paylor. And technically, from what you've heard, paladins are the only ones that should have the ability to directly speak to God, to Paylor specifically. Oliver's way of talking, where he just kind of gets pieces back and forth, you've heard of that happening. It's not obscenely uncommon, but is rather uncommon, but is something that happens. Eleonora actually talking directly to the god, usually you've only heard that happen from actual paladins. So with the fact that Paylor's paladin is on the front lines, you assume means he wants the battle to happen. However, it's only been happening for the last 30 years that his paladin has been on the front lines, while the battle itself has been going on for 300 years. From what your father has told you, they fight because they believe is for the greater good, because they believe that the orcs will eventually pretty much stomp the entirety of the continent if left unchecked. And so the duty of the elves is to get rid of that and to establish peace, which, to the best of your knowledge, is what Paylor stands for.
Okay, yeah. So Verena just,
Oh no.
she thinks that the tiefling is lying, but she kind of thinks Ellie's a little out there,
Cuckoo crazy.
but
I
She
mean, I
accepts
was
it.
raised in a forest.
yeah. But she accepts it, you know?
hmm
Like, okay. Does she? I don't know.
You could always
try
try
and
to
think-
insight Eleanor to see if she's lying to you.
How about no? I did kind of immediately like chase after you when you got grabbed by an orc.
Yeah, that's true.
You went
I don't
all
think she would
angry
insight it.
wrath monk mode.
Just
No.
kind of be like, okay, yeah, you can believe that. Obviously, this is like some sort of dream. You're kind of like a child. You think you're talking to them. You know, you go ahead, have your daydreams, honey. But the tiefling.
Oh, Jesus Christ. What the fuck? Ow.
What was that?
Ow.
Wasn't me this time. I
Ow, Ellie. I think her
Sounds
mic.
like these are glad that I have her audio reasonably low.
Oh, I feel so sorry for the stream. Ouch. Are you okay, Ellie? Did you die horribly?
What happened?
There was a loud buzzing noise. Was that like a vacuum cleaner or a microwave or something?
I'm assuming that was like her mic getting jonked because now she's not talking. So I assume her headset just decided to kick itself.
Oh goodness.
Jesus Christ. Let me try pinging her in the chat. You okay? Yeah, sorry for that, stream. She's still trying to get her microphone to work. Well, while we wait for her to function again, if you guys have not followed us yet, please feel free to do so. We do this stream every Monday from 7:30 p.m. PST to 9:30 p.m. PST. Not sure how long the series is going to go on, but probably quite some time, so feel free to check in every week, and it's going to be fantastic. Ellie, are you back alive yet?
Is it working?
Hey, there you are.
I can hear you. Yes, indeed.
She's back.
That was painful.
Yeah,
Did you, like,
Aurora
kick your...
was-
Huh?
Yeah, she was stomping the ground by my phone. I'm using my phone this time instead of the computer. So.
Ah, okay.
I knew it sounded a bit different.
Did you hit the... Did she hit the phone, or...
She was hitting her feet on my desk
Uh-huh.
next to my phone while I was trying to talk.
Ah, okay. Cool. But yeah, so she tells you this, for those of you who in the stream have difficulty hearing, because, unfortunately that is great difficulty with our microphone setup. The mark of one bends in two. Together and separated you were. A close companion or feared foe. The choice to be is always yours. Is what she stated to you all. And now you are roughly ready to head on the trail of Blade Tears, which is pretty much the easiest landmark to follow. It's also the mark on the map towards the big Orc Central, I guess is what we'll call it, that really focused Rowena's knowledge path. My words aren't working today. Y'all know what I mean.
Her pathfinding ability?
Yeah, her pathfinding ability is that.
Wait,
it
are we
had...
switching to Pathfinder?
I mean, I'm
Not
pretty
yet.
sure Sid understands that one a bit better, but
But that's how she was able to basically tell where on the map that is, because the Trail Blade Tears was at like the very top of that map, more or less. It is a very interesting location. So you guys start walking up north. It's right about right here. There is a large, almost like hillside to it. So I'm assuming you guys walk to that hill, so you can actually get a good view of the trail.
that seems like it'd be reasonable.
Cool. Alright, this is more or less what you guys see. It is a little bit fucked in terms of aspect ratio, but yeah. This is more or less what you guys see as you guys walk over the hill. You guys are more or less in the direct center of the continent. Well, direct center and a little bit north. But you're more or less in the direct center of the Trail of Blade Tears. And in that trail, there are literally hundreds of thousands of weapons. Almost all of them are broken to some degree. There's rotting skulls on some pikes. There's armor that's ripped to shreds and is still barely hanging on, like this one. There's bodies all over the ground. Tattered remains of some bodies, ones that have been stabbed through. Primarily, you'll notice that there are only really half-elves and orcs that are in that. A more detail on the actual people you guys would have to roll perception for. But from what you can just tell at a glance, either it's humans or half-elves from what you can see on the battlefield, and orcs. There are weapons all over. The ground itself is stained. Like the actual, like if you guys like grabbed into the earth and like drop some the dirt, the dirt itself is actually stained with the amount of blood and salt that has been poured into this landscape. There's no fires or anything around, just because it's been several years since the last battle. But it seems like this is just where they come and bash every single time, more or less. It stretches on for a long ways. Like it's easily like 500 feet or so wide, maybe a little bit longer from what you guys can see. It's out of your guys' point of view, area of view, I guess. The it fogs up when you look far enough in the distance, so you guys can't quite tell exactly how wide this trail is. But yeah, it's a very unpleasant sight. There are more bodies than you guys would be able to count, more or less. There's not a whole lot of variation in the bodies, though, weirdly enough. If you guys would like to give me perception rolls, I can tell you guys anything of other note that you guys would see.
Honestly, I'm honestly thinking more along the lines of rolling some sort of constitution check or something to see how well I maintain the contents of my stomach.
Yeah, you're welcome to do that too.
Because again,
Same.
he hasn't. My
yeah,
character
both of you
is
roll
kind
me
of more of a
Constitution
city-
real quick.
My
Ooh,
character's more of a
only
city
on two.
kid. He's not really. He doesn't exactly have a lot of experience of, or hasn't seen many occasions of just this much gore.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think I just lost dinner last night.
Oh yeah. Rowena, you have seen a lot about, but unfortunately,
What?
yeah.
How?
I will let you
How
have
is it
advantage
evil?
on
Oh my
that because
gosh.
of the terrain that you're looking at.
And she's definitely seen a lot more violence than any of us
Oh
have.
yeah. Ellie, feel free to roll me your con as well. Ah, there you go. Much better.
I'm trying to find it.
It should be at the top where you can see con. You should be able to click one of the two numbers on the bottom there, the one on the right. Do you see it?
It just kind of swallows everything down. Picks up her head.
So, Ellie, at the top of your sheet, you should see your stats, and then underneath the big numbers, there should be 2. There you think. Yeah, there you go. Oof. So
Everyone just loses everything.
yeah, all 3 of the people directly behind you just they step. It doesn't smell particularly good. It smells like a lot of rotting corpses, but they're also very
I'd be
charred.
surprised if it did.
So yeah, several years of decay and char.
Oh, I love what your gods did with the case place. Real homie.
They're having a difficult time seeing
Why does
anything.
this madness even have to occur?
From what you can see, Rowena, there is not a single elven body in this entire area that you can see.
She kind of, swallows down while everyone just lets it go.
They're either attempting to not throw up, or they are actively, like, Oliver, just leaning over and
Picks her chin up
This is why I don't like orcs.
and just kind of softly says, This is war.
Well, I'm definitely glad I didn't hear much about it till now.
Believe me, if it was an option, I would be going back toward Silver Pass right now.
This thing stretches on for as far as you guys can see, left and right, by the way. There are piles and piles. Not as many dead bodies as you guys would expect, but this has been going on for many decades. So there are piles of rotting or burned to a crisp bodies. Anything that isn't burned is either in the ground, in corpses, in skeletons, or has several pieces of weaponry shoved through it. So it's from left to right, all the way that you guys can see forwards, which is quite a distance for the half-elves. It's just red.
Rowena presses her lips together, in that thin line. It should have just been better. starts walking.
Oof.
Well, now I can see why I got dropped off with the gnomes.
Better. What are you talking about?
They're dead because they weren't good enough.
I'm sorry I asked.
All in favor of turning around and coming back the way we came, say aye.
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 Ellie already starts walking away.
So you guys walk more. Oh yeah. Rowena is kind of walking along the path, but you guys kind of walk a little ways away from the path, so at least the hills on the right is blocking to some degree most of the carnage. You guys are very close to it, but the smell, oddly enough, isn't strong enough to waft over. It's been probably about 2 or 3 years, to the best of Rowena's knowledge, since the last war happened, and so most of the bodies have either fully decayed, were burned to such a degree that they can't decay, or were buried, and so the smell would only happen if you start to dig them up. And let me tell you, if you guys start digging this stuff up, whew. But, so you guys start walking along kind of the not mountainous, but, I suppose rocky terrain of the area, and Rowena has a much better eagle eye. Huh?
Can I just keep a lookout, make sure we aren't walking into
Oh yeah,
anything?
you have a very good vantage point because you're pretty much like 10 or so feet more or less above where the rest of the crew is, which gives you a perfect view of the massive trail. But thankfully they are blocked by a large hill space. Yeah, it goes on for a while. But you do know that a very good thing about this trail is that if you follow it all the way, you will reach the orc encampment. It's just a lot of walking.
I don't think we'll go all the way. They did say that they were, planning on moving. Maybe they'll have some scouts ahead.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to go all the way there. I feel like that's kind of intense.
I still can't believe you want to go as far as you have.
My
are you
job
feeling?
is to get information.
I mean, sure, I understand that much, but this almost looks like suicide.
I agree. How are you feeling seeing all those half elves, Rowena?
As I said, they should have just been better.
There are very few individuals I've encountered who really wanted to hold the weapon in their hand, if they even had a weapon in their hands.
I mean, my parents decided I shouldn't be part of the war, part of the Citadel, because they wanted me to have a better life. At least that's my thought.
I love how quiet Leon is.
I got nothing to add.
He just looks kind of sick to his stomach. I mean, all three of you are absolutely sick to your stomach. Walking is making it better, but... But yeah, so you guys just kind of walk for a while. As you guys start walking, as you get further and further, is from beginning to end of Ryotao, it's maybe a 3-day journey essentially. So from the mill spot where you were all the way to the end of it, it's maybe a day and a half. You guys can tell from the absolute vast size of this trail. For an army that large, that's like a month's journey. Just trying to trek their way through, especially with the specifically Rowena would probably be able to see this. Give me a perception check real quick, since you're the only one actually on top of the hillish area.
Let's see. Please don't be shit.
Wow.
No!
Oh my.
All right, yeah. So you're you don't see much of it.
A large vulture lands and proceeds to spit on her, I guess. Or, I don't know.
You can see mostly the dead bodies. But you do see, because these are so obvious, even a nat 1 you could not miss unless you were facing the opposite direction. You see at the top of some of these, where are they? Lances, I guess. They're pretty much just giant spikes made of either wood or metal, but you assume they could be used as lances. At the top of some of these, and you are actually very close to one, roll me a reflex save. Or, not reflex.
Oh, goodness.
Dexterity.
Someone's been playing too much Pathfinder.
Actually, I was
Dexterity
doing a
save.
natural d20, whatever it's called. Hey, 18, there you are. You managed to actually recognize the threat and dodge it, even with that nat 1. If you had anything other than nat 1, you would have not actually triggered it. But as you're walking on this hill area, you actually see a lance, more or less, lost in your own thoughts or whatever it was, and you're actually rather close to it. At the very top of it is a weird bulb. As you get closer to it, it starts to grow. And grow.
Oh, goodness.
And your immediate instinct is to jump the fuck off this cliff. Well, it's not really a
away
cliff.
from it.
It's, again, a giant hill. But you essentially jump towards your crew rolling down the hill before it explodes like a bomb. Yeah, that easily would have taken off your arm at the very least. And from what you can tell, yeah, a army trying to get through that kind of material, that's going to take a while. So you assume that's
Yeah,
why
well,
all the
that
wars
area-
take so long to prep.
What the heck was that?
Do I know if that was more elven or orcish?
That was definitely elven material.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Was that a glyph of warding?
Oh shoot.
Would I know that? I don't know. It was it was something for the orcs. I just, got a little bit distracted. She's like dusting herself off a little bit.
Are
Nothing.
you going to be
nothing to
okay?
worry about.
Helps dust her.
Was that Leon?
Yeah, you're fucking scary.
See, he gets it. Hey. Oliver just like says, gesturing towards Leon.
I don't understand you two. How can you find her scary? I think that's a pretty good quality of her. She's very observant.
I mean, literally, the first day I met was literally a blade to the throat, as well as a hunter's mark above my head. The moment I asked her if she was all right,
You
I
threw
mean,
a
That is
fireball
true.
at me.
I didn't throw it at you. I threw it past you, trying to hit the orc that was in front of you.
I don't believe you.
You've made that infinitely clear. You've made that infinitely clear every day that we've been together.
Oh, I love this.
Well, rest assured, we enjoy your company, Oliver. And yours too, Leon. Despite what Rurina makes it seem, she is actually a very strong-willed, nice person.
I have nothing wrong with Leon. Leon's totally fine.
Yep, you can say that again.
Just being truthful.
Don't pet the ego.
He's so fine. He killed a jellyfish with his bare hands.
I mean, he was a boat god. How is that not intriguing?
Oh, no, I didn't use my bare hands. I killed it with the harpy claws that I stole from the harpies.
Ah, see.
Sorry.
Adventure.
That was a
Ellie eye
terrible-
rolls and looks at Rurina.
Oh, I love it.
Everyone has their stories. I mean, just look at the tiefling. He thinks he's praying to Palor.
I mean, and I
Do you
could
have
talk
any
to
means to
him.
prove that that's not the case?
Do you have any means to prove it is?
Point
Yeah,
taken.
you know, Doc, I love Tall Tales as much as the next bard, but yours is a little unbelievable.
Coming from the man who proceeded to slaughter, what was it, about 80 harpies with his bare hands?
It was definitely 112 last time I counted.
My point still stands.
You're the
Ellie
best.
casually looks at her cast iron fry pan and awkwardly steps to the side.
Jesus.
Don't mind me, my story's perfectly normal. Just raised by gnomes.
At this point,
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised if anyone told me it was the most normal tale of any of ours at this point. If that's of
Yeah.
any consolation.
Your story is perfectly believable, Ellie. I
don't believe it.
took God in a bit.
One struggles to say that with a straight face. The other one's just like, nah.
Listen, you are a wonderful person, and I love having you around.
Oh, her heart.
It's that part, not a lie.
Think you
Goes
just
to
killed
cover
her.
face, accidentally smacks face with fry pan.
Shathunk.
Goodness.
High five. Oh, no.
Just instantaneously recoils and quickly he heads closer to make sure she's all right.
You can tell this isn't the first time she has met her face with a frying pan.
Are you all right?
Oh, perfectly fine. Just absolutely wonderful. Just, yep, I'm fine.
Her face is incredibly red. Might be from hitting herself in the face with a frying pan, but you're not quite sure.
Definitely is. Definitely the fry pan.
One of these days,
I'll
we
be
need to
okay.
talk on painkillers.
Probably should. Probably going to be hitting my head a lot.
Irina pointedly looks at each of them, starting with Leon.
He's
Just
taking a swig
traveling
from a flask.
Traveling with a tall tale teller. A liar, as she points to the tiefling. And a daydreamer. I'll stick with being the realist.
Probably the good idea.
I love
You can
this
call it
one.
what you like, but regardless of which way you slice it, it's all down to perspective.
Alright, cool. You guys set off on your way again. As you guys are slowly traveling to Cataclysm, probably half a day-ish or so passes, and night slowly starts to exist for you guys. As you guys get closer to the border, you guys do notice it's getting darker and darker. Oliver, from what your internal clock can tell, at least from what it has been able to tell so far, is probably around, let's see, only time of real day for Cataclysm is noon, so probably about, I'm trying to do mental math now.
Oh, that's fine. Do the mental math.
It's probably
Rowena
9
looks over to
o'clock.
Leon.
Woo, what the? Who was that? Oh,
It
that was
seems we
Ellie.
lost Eleonora. There you
Kicked
are.
my mental math in the face.
Guys, we've lost our monk.
She's back.
We've lost our only frontline fighter, guys. We're screwed.
Oh gosh.
So it's probably about 9. Sorry, my existence doesn't want to say that word.
Factory
9
reset.
a.m. Yeah, factory reset.
Did
Probably
you
about-
get hit by the fry pan too?
No, just, war in my soul. But it's probably about 9-ish a.m. by the time that you get there. So it's starting to become a little bit brighter than what you guys are actually, here. It's kind of... It's really weird to say because in terms of Cataclysm time, it's starting to get brighter. For you guys, it's actually darker because the only hour that isn't pretty much pure nighttime for Cataclysm is noon, which is the same brightness as Rio Tao is. So as you guys are walking to Cataclysm, it starts to feel like it's shifting between this gray kind of twilight into like a darker, and it's like a weird shift that your eyes are having real difficulty melding in your heads.
You know, I've heard, a little bit of stories about this. I didn't think I would actually ever experience it. It's kind of creeping me out.
Well, that's kind of concerning if it's creeping you out.
Hey, Sin, you said that this was fairly normal for Oliver, right?
Yeah, twilight is fairly normal for you. It getting slightly darker is odd, even for you, because it just doesn't really ever change inside the Rio Tao. One name for Rio Tao is the Land of Eternity, because it just is eternal. And so even this is doubly weird for you, just because you're not used to your vision ever really changing. And so it's starting to get slightly darker is the equivalent of someone putting, I don't know, the person who's
Speaking
just
of, I have
outside
dark
into a
vision.
black room.
Speaking of, I have dark vision.
You do, yeah. This is the first time that your dark vision has ever actually had to kick in. Even if
This is
it's like
strange.
very minor.
This
Hey,
isn't.
everybody.
That's strange. It usually doesn't do that. It's in the gray lens.
What was that, Leon?
I suppose this is an indication that we're getting closer to the dark lens.
I was just about to say that we must be getting closer to the darker side of things.
Won't
What are you
mind. It's
saying?
the first time I've seen the world all this dark.
What are you saying, Leon?
I was gonna say no. This is more fun in a sec, but
Oh, okay.
Do you need a hand to hold, Leon? Can you not see?
I mean, it's still twilight.
Do you need to hold my fry pan? We won't touch hands, but you can hold my fry pan.
So,
I'll hold the other end.
what exactly is the plan when we get to Cataclysm?
I kind of just want to see what they're doing, how big the army is, if they're planning on leaving soon, if they look like they're leaving soon, and then I'm going to rush on back to the Citadel and tell them what's going on. Listen, I gave you guys the choice not to come with. You could have gone back to the inn.
Yeah. I'm kind
Yeah,
of
but
wishing
you
I'd
were
taken
by
that
yourself.
option.
Last time you were kind of by yourself. You got slashed in the back.
And abducted
No.
by an orc. I'm going. Oh no,
Yeah.
wait. Oliver never saw that.
I'm
Yeah.
suggesting, because these are dangerous parts and I don't want to get jumped while we're on the road. I'm just suggesting we take it slow. Half speed, stay off the main roads.
Well, of
I agree. I
course.
don't want anyone getting kidnapped or jumped on. I just got my fry pan all prettied up.
Alright, cool.
I completely agree.
Let's see. I want to do something that's going to be... all four of you roll me a 1d6, if you would.
I was scared for a moment. It sounded like you were doing the snake lady's voice. It's like, oh, great.
Nah, you guys haven't heard her for a while.
I
Although
didn't
you
think I
do
ever
feel a
had.
chill run down your spine, Ellie.
Oh, hey.
Does the dice in my pocket start, like, burning up?
Nah.
Did she do anything special?
Nope.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Wait, why -1?
Oh, yeah, why
What?
minus one?
That was definitely intentional. I'm just
Oh,
coming
okay.
up with the reason after the fact.
Ooh, wow. Alright, that's a...
Well,
wow.
I think I
That's
died.
a 1, that's a 6, that's a 3, a 3.
It's because I don't have dark vision. That's it.
Alright, fair
I
enough,
found the
yeah.
reason.
Alright, cool. So,
okay.
shockingly, nothing happens on your way. So, essentially, I picked this up from my other DM, actually. Essentially, I will
Excuse you?
be having you guys
Oops.
randomly. Oh yeah, you have that as well. I'll have you guys basically randomly roll 1d6s on your journey, and 6 means something good will happen. 1 means something bad will happen, and 3 and 4 means nothing happens.
Wait, but Leon just rolled a 6 there.
Yeah.
And Chicory rolled a 1.
Yeah.
So,
Which means they cancel,
something
and then
good
the
and
3s
something
mean.
bad should happen.
Gotcha.
No, I think we should do both.
Oh, okay.
I
Okay.
don't know. I have
Oh,
damsel in
God,
distress
no.
on both.
All right. You know
Okay,
what?
I
You know what?
see.
I'm
That was-
happy to
he
do
does
both.
it.
I am happy to do both.
At the same time.
Okay, now I have to figure out what the fuck good can happen to you people.
I mean, you could do the same thing that the Unexpectables did with their
He
anti
won't get accidentally hit by my fry pan as we walk in the dark.
which basically just simply was they had a special wild magic surge that had all
Ooh.
neutral to positive effects.
Wild magic table. Here we go. All right. You know what?
Most of those are chaotic and a lot of them are terrible. I just figure for the positive side of thing, just swap out the negatives for neutral to positive
All right,
for the
interesting.
positive side, and of course invert it for the negative.
Interesting. You know what? I'm gonna try this out, and this may or may not be something we do, but I want to try it out. It's 71, so I'm gonna look at this table, and that says. All right. Do we know
I'm gonna
any
throw you.
other ray abilities, spells? Ray of something spells.
Ray of Frost.
Preferably one that's helpful.
Ray of Enfeeblement. I don't actually have that. I just wanted to say it.
I don't think there's a positive ray ability, but you could easily swap it out for something else. Maybe something like Catnap or something like that.
Ray of Feeblement.
Ray of Feeblement was that too?
I don't know the opposite of whatever enfeeble means.
Fair. Let's see. Oh, here we are. You gain resistance to all damage for the next minute. So all damage is halved for all of you. You all feel like you got a coating of something. It actually moves along with Chicky's weird chill down her spine. She feels a chill, and then everyone just kind of feels a little bit stronger for a couple of seconds. And you guys hear something in the wind. Roll me perceptions.
Perception.
It's the freaking snake lady.
She hasn't done anything yet, probably, maybe.
She tried.
How am I getting the best perception here? What the heck?
Looks at
Crystal
me
glasses.
having a +5. Oh, hey, there we go.
I think Ellie sees
No,
everything.
I don't want that.
She
All right,
sees
Ellie.
everything.
Well, Ellie, you get a fantastic view of this, which is not good for your character.
I don't want. No.
You guys are walking along. And Oliver also sees this to some degree. Marina and Shaky, I don't know what the hell you guys are doing, but you're not seeing this apparently. At least not seeing immediately. We'll go with that. From what you can see, Ellie, there is a creature
I'm gonna
in the
scream.
distance that
Oh,
is
great.
walking along. There's actually it seems to be kind of like almost a pack, but they're very spread out. They're quite a distance away from you. Your 20s, lovely. Oliver can only see the one. You can see like the 5 or 6. They're quite a distance away from you. They don't seem to have noticed you yet. They look like malformed dogs. With that 20,
I was
Oliver,
about to ask if any of them were like a snake of sorts.
yeah, Oliver, you can't see this, but with that 20, Ellie can. They are what seems to be either abominations, undead, or have some very twisted aspect to them. They are drooling some weird green liquid, at least the one in front that you can see, is drooling some weird green liquid, and its head is not on right.
So, guys, I don't know if you can see this, but there's some mangled dogs or wolves up ahead, and it seems like one of them is dripping acid. And its head is on backwards, I believe. It's not a good sight.
Is
It's
it
a
dripping
huge
acid or are
pack.
you dripping acid?
Is it tripping acid?
Dripping, not tripping.
How many do you see?
You see 4 or 5, Ellie.
Drugs?
About 4 or 5.
I'm honestly half tempted to engage because there is something I want to check out, but that sounds dangerous.
You guys are welcome to engage if you want. They're currently away from you, so you could, in theory, pass by them without too much trouble. They don't seem to have noticed you, possibly because you're standing next to the large trail of death, essentially, and so its smell is probably mixing with y'all at this point, as you've been traveling for hours. So that might be why they haven't noticed you as of yet. So,
Hey, Sin, could I roll a medicine check off of what she's told me
you're
to try
welcome
and
to.
discern what this is?
Mhm.
Off of my assumption?
Sure.
I think I know nothing.
Yeah, you know they're dogs. In fact, they might be healthy for all you know.
Animal handling.
You think you could make friends with it?
Oh no. I think we should just stay away from them.
Y'all know that
Kinda
folk
like that
song,
idea.
Walk On By?
I suppose the presence in the Great Plains means that's probably... Well, no, never mind. I guess our approach of the Dark Plains is probably making this that a wiser idea. Or Dark
I
Ones.
sense a threat in the air, but that could be just me. Just a chilling welcome. We're definitely
no, that's me.
getting
I
close.
passed gas. Sorry about that.
Oh no. Ruina's gonna stealth.
Okay. Yeah, but yeah,
Stealth
Ellie, from that
entirely.
animal handling, you can very much so tell you might be able to make friends with it. You feel in your heart that they could be friendly.
No. No.
Are you
Wow.
kidding
Rita
me?
said no.
2 nat ones in a row.
Wow. Roll me a 1d6 if you would, Oliver.
Oh boy.
All right, cool. Yeah.
No, I said 1d6. Why did you up it to 2? What the heck?
Ooh, that's not good. So the rest of you guys stealth pretty well. You can tell from how Oliver stated less than a day ago, he was not born in the wilderness, and he has not been in the wilderness for very long, and he has no idea what the fuck stealth means. So you guys are all stealthing pretty well, you're kind of quiet and everything like that. And he's not. No, he's loud.
I trip.
He trips. He hits the ground. He starts to roll. You guys are still on that slant towards the up, so you guys can't see. It's starting to mellow out a little bit. But you guys are on a slant. He trips. He falls. He hits the ground. He rolls. He continues rolling. He's shouting. He hits a small area below you guys, about probably like 10 feet away or so, that he kind of rolled into a crevice about. And then that caused, yeah, that caused a landslide near him.
What?
his hit.
How all this?
Hey, the rolls are speaking, okay?
I mean, sure, but
That
this is
double nat
supernaturally
one.
bad.
Yeah, double net one. You hit the ground. You roll. You hit a small, almost like a trench of sorts, and that causes a small area next to you to just start kind of piling down dirt, from the shifting of the basically wall that you slammed into, and the rest of you can kind of just see the main dog in front. He turns to look at all of you. The other dogs haven't noticed you. He did.
Crap.
You notice me? What is his
he-
perception?
Yeah. Actually, that's a good question. Hold on. Can this man notice this? Well, this dog. All right. Wow. All right. Well, he notices. Actually,
think
did
he
anyone
notices
roll
me,
under stealth?
and
All right. Cool. Yeah. So he
nobody
doesn't even
rolled under
notice
that
all of
except
you.
me.
He looks in your direction, but Oliver is hidden because he hit a trench into a wall. So he looks over your area, and then he just kind of turns back, and they just keep walking.
For the love of Paylor.
Oh, I was
I
holding my
swear
breath
I'm
the
not
whole
doing this on
time.
I don't
purpose.
think Taylor would really care. He'd probably be surprised.
Oh,
I swear I'm not doing this on purpose.
you know, I kind of think you are. You're just trying to set us up to fail.
For the love of God, Hutter, my life's on the line here too.
Is it?
Do you really think that the orcs would have done that much to me if he intended it to let me live?
They were on the outskirts. Maybe they never were informed of your secret mission.
No, Ruin is right. If you're gonna set someone up to be a spy, beating them within an inch of their life is a good way to convince people that, they ain't on your side.
You're not helping.
Okay, I trust him. If push comes to shove, I can just drag him with my fry pan.
Oh, no, to clarify, I trust him too. I just respect the narrative and Ruina's head.
Sid, am I correct in the assumption that I am partially buried right now?
No, it was to your right. You basically hit the wall, and then that caused a small area to your right to fall down, essentially, kind of filling up a small section too. So you're perfectly fine. You were just basically the wall was higher than your prone body.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I'm going to get up on all fours, and I'm going to try and stay low for the rest of this stealth mission.
It's a good plan. The dogs do pass all of you, so you guys don't have to fight the whole army of, well, not army, but terrifying creatures. But that is where we're going to end it. As you guys are looking into the forward area, the, I guess, perpetual fog that you guys have pretty much experienced for most of this area starts to let down, essentially, as the area in front of you starts to clear up. Everyone with dark vision can see this to some degree, so everyone but Leon can see a little bit further than they could before, because it basically goes from semi-twilight area into pretty much just kind of darkness, and so you guys can see a decent ways in. It is, what's the word? Not barren exactly, but it's kind of like walking into a birch pine forest. And so the ground is a bad color. Everything just feels kind of dull and dead. There's a lot of weird plants all around that you guys can see. You guys are approaching the border to Cataclysm, and there's almost a line where the border starts. And as your eyes move from one side of the border to the other, there's a drastic change in pretty much all the creatures that are there. Because of the specific time of day, the light isn't actually that much of a difference, but the animals, not animals, but the plants, the trees, everything like that, it's a whole new world past that line, essentially.
I need to talk to my old friend before I lose him.
Well, you have fun with that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. If you guys did, check us out next week on here. We do it at 7:30 p.m. PST. I also stream solo on Wednesday and Saturday at 7 p.m. PST. So if you guys want to check us out there, that'd be fantastic. And follow if you have not. Next week, it seems like the group is going to be entering Cataclysm, which is arguably one of the most dangerous areas in this entire continent. Mostly because from what the stories that you guys have heard, everything eats everything else. So, have fun in there. And we'll see all of you fine folks and your apparently terrible sneaking skills. Or one of you terrible sneaking skills. The rest of you had fairly good. Next time. Bye.
Bye.
Have a good one.
Asta!
Oh,